gonna survive unless we get a little crazy.
Eric Rosenkranz here from Strategy Asia.
Hi, my name is Michael Waitze from Michael Talks Tech.
And we're here for Asia Trend Report, produced by Metaliq Media. So, do you ever have a wish list? We all wish for things. What are we wishing for today? I'll tell you, I wish Michael would answer my emails.
I wish you'd look at my responses.
Yeah, well,
What's the
if I
timeframe?
got,
Just so-
if
what's
I
the
got
timeframe?
some responses
What's the
sometime,
statute of limitations on when it's okay to answer?
I think for an important email, it should be within 24 hours.
24-hour turnover.
And if you don't get a response within 48, I send back.
Call me.
This is not our program, by the way.
Call me.
I hate when people call me without telling me they're going to call me. I hate sitting there and suddenly my phone rings. I'm in a meeting, I'm busy. I want somebody to send me a text to say, Eric, I want to call you. Can I do that?
You're like a 12-year-old. I mean,
No,
it's a phone.
no. I bet you, write into us. I don't know, do we have an email address for Metaliq Media?
We do.
I want people to write into us and say, do they like getting unsolicited phone calls?
Yeah, I think the email address would be insanity@metaliq.media.
All right, wish list. What do you wish? All right, let's get serious. What do you wish would happen?
I wish that there would be more serious, professional, large-scale venture capital funds in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Because for now, I think the market is not overrun, but there are too many small funds chasing too many small deals. And I think what I would like, I wish that it would become a more professional investment environment, because I think it's better for all. And I think there are plenty of companies here that require professional investment. There are plenty of great entrepreneurs in Southeast Asia. We know that. We talk about this all the time. But I'd like to see the investment side catch up to the professionalism of the entrepreneurs.
I totally agree with you. I wish we had a Silicon Valley type of approach.
Anything that's even
here
close.
in Southeast Asia.
I
it's
agree.
nowhere near that.
Not good enough
And
yet.
most of the VCs only want to invest in up and running companies. They don't like putting money into brand new startups.
Yep.
They won't invest in ideas.
Nope, they won't
and
invest in
that's very
ideas.
frustrating.
And you see a lot of idea investment in the US and in Europe as well. In Israel, the same thing happens. It happens all over the world, but it doesn't happen here. I wish it would.
Yeah. And you can't even get money from Silicon Valley, because I was talking to a Silicon Valley investor about investing in a project in Asia, and he said it's a great idea, but he will only invest in something that's within 45 minutes drive of his office in the valley.
Right, I mean, this is the Fred Wilson response, right, from Union Square Ventures, is the best investments I've ever made are 100 miles from my office. Yeah, fair enough. And what the US-based investors have told me about investing in Southeast Asia is I don't have enough visibility on what's going on there.
But you know what I wish? I wish there were more companies in Southeast Asia that were doing innovative, new things.
Yeah, so non-copycat style
rather than
stuff.
copycat stuff.
Could not agree
There's
with
too
you
much
more.
copycat going on.
Could not agree with you more. Like, how many more e-commerce companies do we really need?
Okay, so Uber is a great idea, so suddenly everybody has to do the Southeast Asian version of Uber. Why don't you come up with your own idea?
Grab
for
taxis,
once?
all these companies,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and sure, fair enough that they might have a different cultural view on what that system is like. Not a new idea.
Yeah.
I want to see new ideas.
Yeah, even the Baidus and the Tencents in China, they're still copycat ideas.
So this gets
Where's
into
the new thing?
This gets into my second wish.
Okay.
I wish a lot of those companies would just consolidate, because you let's talk about e-commerce, right? Which I want to do. You have very large players. You've got some mid-tier players, and you've got all these small players down here that are all fighting for the same slice of the pie. Up here, they might be increasing the pie size, but I wish these teams would consolidate and fight against this big team, because they're all doing one vertical that's included in the verticals
how do you
here.
convince people to consolidate?
Well, I wish they would. I know it's it's difficult to ask them to.
But you want to know something? It comes back to your first wish. If we had proper venture capitalists that would give one of those companies $10 million, they would go off and buy the other one.
Sure. So let's just pick. Let's just pick e-commerce company A, B, and C. If a VC would go to them and say, if the three of you merge, because I like all these verticals, but I'm not investing in all of you, I'll invest in all of you together. You're right, that it gets back to the professionalism on the investment side as well. Because there's no reason for these little kind of micro companies to exist when their competition is so huge and so well funded.
but
So
I
wish they'd consolidate.
Yeah, I've tried it. There was one industry I was trying to consolidate. I got everybody to agree to the concept of the consolidation.
Same vertical?
Absolutely the same, and it all fell apart because of valuations. Once I raise
because
the money,
'cause I'm
I
bigger
got
than you.
TPG to fund it. Once we raised the money, everybody said, "Oh well, my valuation is
bigger than
3
yours,"
times-
and-
right? Mine is bigger, and
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's had to be
Bigger,
bigger."
right.
And then they wanted to see each other's books.
Right.
Show me your books. I'll show you. You know.
Yeah, but Mom, I have a higher growth path than you do, and if we merge a month, it's all this
yeah.
garbage.
And I'm in a different country. I'm in Vietnam, where things are growing faster than Taiwan. Yeah, it was
Noise.
crazy.
It's noise.
Yeah.
So what's your second wish?
You know, I'm shifting the focus here a little bit.
Do it.
I wish investors would recognize that developing countries' stock markets are independent of the economy.
Yeah.
Okay? Last month, the Chinese stock market went down 15%. Everybody said, oh my God, the sky is falling, the Chinese economy is collapsing. The stock market has nothing to do with the economy, has no correlation with the economy.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Chinese economy grew throughout the entire decade of 2000. The stock market didn't move at all.
Right. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So there's zero correlation, but people are saying, oh my God, the stock market's falling. See, the difference is in a developing market, stock markets are often retail, they're consumer driven, they're not the big institutions, and they don't necessarily represent all of the companies that
Are in the economy.
That are in the economy. In China, all the big companies aren't listed.
They might, and then
Yeah.
if they are, they're not listed in China.
Yeah,
They might be
they're
listed
listed
on
in Hong
NASDAQ
Kong or
or in
NASDAQ.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant.
I wish people would start recognizing that there's no correlation and start investing appropriately.
Yeah, and I guess I would say, and this is not part of my list, but I wish the financial press would just shut up.
Well, they've got to write stories. They got to talk about something.
I understand that, but I agree with you. I don't. In a lot of cases, what happens in any individual country's stock market could have no relationship whatsoever to that country's economy. Yeah. So the final thing for me is, I wish people would just honor their contracts.
Honor their contracts. What do you mean by that?
I mean, if I write a contract with you that says I'm going to give you 50% of revenue, I show you what the income is, I show you what the revenues are, and I just split it with you. And later I don't come back to you and say, well, I really want it to be 30% because I did more of this or you did more of that. Or it's just a piece of paper, I'm not going to honor this at all, actually. I'm taking all the revenue for myself because I don't have to give it to you. I have no patience for people that don't honor their contracts. We see this in a lot of different places. If I write a VC contract with you, if I write a shareholders agreement, all these things, these are legal terms. Right, supported by legal systems. If the legal system is irrelevant, then what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, it's a problem in places like Myanmar. It's a problem like places in Vietnam. It's less of a problem in Singapore or Hong Kong where there's a strong legal system.
Should be, right?
But it's actually one of the reasons people are afraid to invest in Myanmar today.
Right.
Is there's no legal system.
Yeah.
How do you?
There's no rule of law.
Yeah. And even in places like Vietnam, where there's some rule of law, how do you actually prosecute somebody?
That's
in
the point,
Vietnam?
though, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that, but I just wish people had good motives and just honored their contract.
Yeah. So what do I wish? I mean, we're talking about Myanmar. I mean, we can go on forever. I wish that Aung San Suu Kyi's government, which is just starting to take over, I think they were seating them in the last few days or something, I wish she brings in some professional help to really run the country properly, because the rest of Southeast Asia is looking at what's happening.
They're watching.
I know Thailand is watching it very clearly, Vietnam is watching it very clearly, and what Myanmar does has huge ramifications for the rest of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I mean, again, this comes back to visibility. A lot of people in the West don't actually understand how large a country Myanmar is. It's about the same size as Thailand.
A little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller,
but
but still,
yeah.
it's around the same size. I don't think most people realize that Vietnam has 90-something million people in it, right? So obviously Indonesia is huge, but people are watching what's happening in Myanmar, and I agree with you. I'd love to see them install a really professional government there. I mean, maybe that's the theme, professionalism.
Yeah.
Whether it's from an investment side, whether it's from a legal contract side, or from the government side, I think you make a really good point. I wish as well, along with you, that they bring professionals into that government, because the potential there is so huge. But if they don't, the potential to muck it up is just as large.
Do you have another wish? One last wish?
I had 3 already. I
Okay.
did 4 maybe. You can do 5.
I'm
if
going to
you
do
want.
5. This is my last wish, and it's got nothing to do with Asia.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with strategy.
No problems.
It's got nothing to do with business.
Is it me answering emails
I
again?
wish the Republican Party in America would get their act together, because these people that they're putting up to run the U.S. government are just tadpoles.
Tadpoles.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
have
you know-
they have the brain power of what I like to say is a small doorknob.
A very small doorknob.
Very small
And
doorknob.
The thing that a lot of Americans living in America don't realize is that the President of the United States is also the President of the world. What
Just an
he
ambassador
does,
of the whole world. Yeah, it matters.
What he does really
says
impacts
but
everybody.
what he or she does and says matters, and everybody's listening and everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Comport yourself appropriately.
Yeah, and
Even in the election.
you and I
please.
live in Asia.
Correct.
And we talk to other expats and other Asians, and they say to us, at least they say to me, what are these crazy people?
What are they doing?
Who
What's
are
happening?
these people?
It's completely devolved into nonsense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
On the Republican side. On the Republican side. And I don't know about Bernie Sanders, but I wish the Republican Party would get their stuff together and start putting up some serious candidates.
I think they should just throw the whole thing away and start all over again.
All
Just
right.
my opinion.
So, Eric Rosenkranz from Strategy Asia.
Michael Waitze from Michael Talks Tech.
This has been the Asia Trend Report produced by Metaliq Media.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy.